Welcome to BizJet TV. My name is Fabrizio, and today, first video of the year 2022. What's going to happen in the private jet industry in 2022? Let's just look at a snapshot of what's been happening over the last few months and how this is going to have a knock-on effect, domino effect into the future. So first of all, what we're seeing right now is inventory is very, very low. That's continuing into this year already with just 5% of the private jet fleet for sale. Usually that number is about 10 to 12%. So there aren't many aircraft for sale. We also know that the OEMs, which are the aircraft manufacturers, are going to be delivering 700 new jets this year. But still, the market is crying out for airplanes right now. Not only is inventory low, but there's aircraft that are for sale, are selling quickly. So if you're looking to buy an aircraft, to be ready with the money. Don't bother about going to a bank to get financing because you'll lose the deal. Things are moving very quickly. You want to have money in escrow right away. You want to be able to move money and then finance the aircraft afterwards. That's my recommendation because the market is moving a lot. WealthX just published their recent wealth report where we discover that 295,400 ultra high net worth individuals in the world, which are people worth over $30 million. If we look at that number of people that are worth between just 20% of these people, are worth between 100 million to a billion. That's 59,000 plus people. There are about 22,000 private jets in the world. So what does that mean? That not all these people have a jet. But what's happening right now, the airlines have started to resume flights. But in order to survive, the airlines had to get rid of some of their pilots during the pandemic. So what they did is they had a look at the pilot force and they offered early retirement to a lot of pilots. And the deal was you can go retire now 5, 6, 7 years early and we will pay you 80% of what we were going to pay you originally. So if a pilot's making $20,000 a month, he'll retire right away at $16,000 a month. A lot of people have taken that deal. And now as the airlines are starting to resume travel, what they're doing is, number one, they're not flying as many routes as they were flying before. They've cut frequency on certain routes. But even by doing that, they still don't have enough pilots. They've called the pilots that have retired to call some of them back. And these guys are sitting comfortably at home making 16 grand a month and doing nothing. Or maybe they've taken that money and they've invested it in a business or into a hobby or whatever it may be. Or moved from New York to Florida or to Estonia or whatever it may be to enjoy their life. And they're not going to go back to flying. So this is why, if you are traveling with the airlines right now, and the most disruptive market that's been disrupted the most has been the United States, and you find yourself sitting at the gate and the airplane's being delayed, and then the flight's being cancelled, often the reason is the airline do not have enough crew. The other factor is some airlines have mandated vaccines for pilots. Some pilots have fallen sick because of the vaccine. Others have refused to take the vaccine, so they've left the company or been forced to resign. They have consequently sued the airline. There's all that going on as well. So add that to the fire, and that's the reason why there's a lot of disruption in the airline industry right now. It's because the pilots have retired, or they're sick, or they've had to resign because they didn't want to get vaccinated. So there's all that going on. So you're Mr. Wealthy going through an airport terminal to travel from A to B to C to do a deal, and you get caught up in all this, and it's something that you do not control. So this is why more and more people now are moving to private jet travel. But even with private jet charter, the charter companies are struggling to find pilots because, again, people retired and that, or the airplanes are flying a lot more now, so they need more pilots. And so there's disruption there too. So you may ring up your local charter company to book a flight, and guess what? They may have an aeroplane, but they don't have the pilot, or they have one pilot, they don't have two. Or the airplane's so busy that you need to book 3 weeks in advance. So there's a lot of that going on as well. So this is what's enticing more and more people to look at ownership or leasing a jet. And this is something that people are looking to do. So if you are that inclined and you want to know more, I do recommend ping me an email and I'll book you in for a Zoom call. The first call is if you qualify, that there'll be a form that will go out. Need you to fill that in. And then from there, we'll decide if we want to give you a complimentary call, find out more about your needs and everything, and see what we can do here in going out and procuring you an aircraft. I always work for the buyers, not for the sellers. If you go on the internet looking for a jet, bear in mind that when you pick that phone up to call the person on the fancy spec sheet, you are calling the seller's representative. They are working for the seller, not for you. So they're going to try and sell you what they've got. Whether that airplane works for you or not, they don't care. They're getting paid by the principal of the aircraft. So bear that one in mind. So you can always ping me a message. I'll send you the form, fill it in, and then we can get on a Zoom call and take it from there. That's all from me on this episode. If you haven't subscribed to BizJet TV, I encourage you to subscribe, and also check this video here out, which is very interesting, how to buy a private jet in a low inventory market like right now. That will give you a bit of a few pointers in how to do that. And love to hear your comments below. And that's all from Fabrizio on BizJet TV, and I'll see you in the next one.